Like button.
Hello,
Hey.
how you doing? Welcome to This Week in Childfree, otherwise known as t.w.i.c. I am Cody Hetzel, one of the moderators of this. It's just us, so who knows what's happening here.
Okay. Oh, I'm like, are we moderators or
I
how do
don't
we introduce
know.
ourselves? All
Well, if
right.
we have commenters, we're moderating, I guess. I don't know.
Co-host, I guess
Co-host,
you
we're
can use.
co-hosting this thing.
All right.
And
So my name is LeNora Faye. I'm the other co-host of this show.
it is live, so this
It
is
is
all
live.
completely unedited. So if you're watching this as it's airing, you can feel free to comment, join us, and we'll pull up some interesting thoughts that might pop up on the screen. But anyway, basically what this is, we just kind of delve through the the hashtags of child free and everything in our community and our lifestyle, and pull up just kind of some random articles and just kind of do uh,
Reactionary. We're
a reaction. Yeah,
reacting. We're
live
reacting
reacting.
to. Is it
So
Google Alerts? Are we reacting to Google Alerts
it's
tonight?
Google Alerts. Yeah, that's how I find most of this stuff.
Okay.
So anybody can
All right.
set it up and see. But yeah, so if it has an interesting headline, I've kind of pulled it aside. I might have glanced at it, but so as I read this, forgive me, and if I stumble over words, because this is the first time I'm really going through it myself. And anyway, if you happen to see interesting articles or stories that you'd like to cover in future episodes of t.w.i.c, feel free to email those to us at childfreemedia@gmail.com.
By the way, we do have an unofficial drinking game. If it involves wedding, you can take a shot of whatever you got. I actually just have iced tea with something, well, nothing in it, just iced tea. Uh, all right. So, what do we have first up?
So this just came up and it had the word child hyphen free in it. So I was like, well, what's this about? And apparently, weed moms are changing the narrative around marijuana. So anyway, I was like, well, what is this all about?
This
So
had
I
to do
guess
with this. Sorry, this had a child-free hashtag.
there was, and I
Oh,
did glance at it because it didn't make sense to me either, because it's about mom smoking weed. But anyway, the statistic I found, I'll scroll down here, and if you're um watching this live, you can see this, but if you're listening on the podcast, we'll do our best to read it for you. So anyway, the key takeaway for this was, it says social media trends make sense in this article they're talking about, given data showing that legal marijuana sales increased 46% in 2020 and have continued to rise since. And it's parents in particular who seem to be leading the way on imbibing. In a recent Harris poll, it found that over the pandemic, of parents who already tried marijuana, 52% increased their consumption compared to only 33% of child-free adults.
interesting.
And over half, 57% of parents who have ever consumed cannabis reported that their use of marijuana replaced or reduced their alcohol consumption. So I just thought that was interesting. I don't know. It's like, you hear about like wine moms. Are they going to start making shirts for weed moms? I don't know. I guess
I
so. But and like the
huh.
social stigma that goes along with that as well. It's like, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that they threw out the point of that.
Comparing it to
Yeah.
comparing it to child-free people,
Why does that
adults.
even matter? but
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm also curious as to what age categories they were referencing, but compared to like there's nothing else here in this article about the child-free lifestyle except their comparison to, oh look, parents smoke more weed during the pandemic than child-free people do.
Well, I guess if they were looking for like a base sample, and they're like, well, if parents are doing this, are people without kids doing this?
Right.
And the fact that it seems like more parents were doing it, I mean, to me, the cause and effect is like parents need a break. So
Uh
maybe that's what they're saying.
hmm,
So anyway, next
curious.
story, unless there's anything anyone wants to add about
Ah,
that. Uh,
hashtag hi mom. Okay, let's move on before we start going down
All
that
right.
rabbit hole of
So if you
hashtags.
are taking shots, we do have our first wedding
Oh
article
no.
to do with child free people. So
This
entitled Bridezilla refuses to let sister bring newborn baby to a child-free wedding. Child-free being child hyphen free. This is on popcrush.com by Donnie Meacham, however you say that.
It's honestly small. I can't read that.
I don't know why they have these videos and pop-ups happen, but anyway,
Okay.
so this comes off of Reddit, as a lot of these stories do. They're kind of just trolled off of there with people saying either the bride or the groom is posting it, or the family member who is upset about it is posting it. So it says child-free weddings aren't all uncommon these days. However, one woman is refusing to attend her sister's wedding because she can't bring her baby. It was shared on Reddit. Let's see. The woman explained she is currently pregnant, and by the time her sister Lisa's wedding comes around, she'll have a 5-month-old newborn.
Ooh.
And Lisa told her no when she was asked if she could bring that baby. And so she's decided that she's going to skip the wedding altogether and is infuriated by the process.
So wait, the sister's refusing, or is going to skip her sister's wedding.
Yeah. Because she'll have a newborn baby that by the looks of this, it would be the only baby at the wedding.
It sounds like there's a deeper issue going on here.
Probably with siblings, it could be.
All right.
So let's delve in a little more. So Lisa is pretty pissed off and said, "I'm trying to act holier than thou and punishing her for having a child-free wedding." She said she wants me to be there and give a speech as a sister to the bride, but I told her I can't attend if I can't bring my baby. When Lisa offered to give her the contact information for some babysitters her friends used, the woman refused. I mean, the woman is her sister, as she doesn't know them personally, as in isn't comfortable leaving a newborn with a stranger, which is understandable. The sister's mother tried to offer a solution too, but even that didn't work. Mom said she could stay home with the baby while I attend a part of the ceremony, and then she'll come and I'll go home. But Lisa wants our parents to be there the whole time. So then they get into whole comments and all that, but it's, yeah, another child-free wedding issue.
Well, you know what my actual issue with this article is, and with the consistent use of hashtag child-free with these weddings, is they're not actually about the child-free lifestyle. They're just using why are they using hashtag child-free or child any version of child-free to, I guess, because why are they using that? That's taking up valuable space or valuable attention away from actually child-free articles.
Correct.
I think that's my problem with it.
The hashtag child-free doesn't fit this because this is child-free, which is not the child-free community, child-free lifestyle,
right?
Where
so
people have chosen to not have kids. This is basically as if it was a child-free restaurant or a child-free resort, like it's a child-free wedding.
18 plus, it has nothing to do with the lifestyle. Okay,
means kids won't be there. So,
right.
But these stories always hit Reddit, and they always go one way or another depending on what side people take.
Do you think scenarios like this, meaning, and I'm not talking about the wedding at all, I'm talking about the way child-free or child-free, the word is used to describe an article that has nothing to do with a lifestyle. Do you think this is confusing?
It is, and I think
mainstream.
I think it definitely is, and it's a little clickbaity to get child-free people to click on it and read the article, as we just did. So,
or do they even know that what they're doing?
Which might be the other argument. I mean, why not just say adults only wedding versus child-free wedding? Like it is. Adults only makes a little bit more sense than saying child-free, because child-free is, in this sense, is exclusionary, whereas adult only sounds like, hey, like this is like a party for adults, plan accordingly kind of scenario. So, it's.
I mean, because again, I think this has been standard with all of the wedding articles that we've been talking about or that have come across our path. It has nothing to do with, like, this is not a child-free boy choice couple or anything. They just don't have kids at the moment. And the article is not even about that. It's just about there's no kids at this particular event.
Yeah. And I don't know, does Lisa have kids? Who knows? It's not even covered in the article, but
exactly.
Anyway, so if you've got shot number 2 ready, Let's see. This is a mom refuses to go to sister's child-free wedding because she can't bring newborn baby. This might be the same story. I don't know. Emma Guinness with tyla.com, tyla.com. Again, I haven't really scanned these, but I just saw it was a thing. So it was on it was on Reddit. Let's see if it mentions Lisa anywhere. Okay, so let's see. While a person's nearest and dearest are expected to drop everything and come, one mom decided that she simply couldn't leave her newborn baby to attend her sister's wedding. Yeah, this is probably the exact same story. Okay. So
again, how many stories do they need?
Yeah,
Not to be bitter about this.
Well, I mean, and the reason that I pull these up is to kind of show like it's the same stories over and over again, even if it's a different wedding or whatever it might be. It's picked up from Reddit and it's just drug across all of these different little websites and forum. Again, to me, it's a clickbait type of article.
I have a conspiracy theory. Suddenly, they're doing this on purpose to give the child-free community and child-free lifestyle and child-free term a bad name.
Could
be. Because this is associating exclusatory behavior. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Behavior or discriminatory behavior, right?
It's playing into the stereotype that child-free community lifestyle do not like children or want to be around children. So it's,
or they're selfish. They're not. Yeah. Okay.
I would agree with you there. So anyway, shot number 3. Okay, so this one is bride gets furious at sister. This is from yahoo.com. They must have also drug Reddit, and they did. So this is the exact same thing. If I can't,
Lisa,
I can't bring my baby. So anyway,
3.
Bye-bye. Yeah, 3 of them. So anyway, here's an article from newsweek.com. The title is "Couple Kicking Child-Free Child-Free Roommate Out After Baby News Backed." Selfish? That doesn't even make sense.
What?
Couple kicking child-free roommate out after baby news backed, and then selfish, whatever that means. So let's see.
I'm still confused. Okay.
All right. So again, this is drug from Reddit into Newsweek. I mean, it's amazing what just picked up from Reddit and put in, I guess you could say, reputable sources as well. Like the other two, maybe no one's heard of, but I think almost everyone's heard of Newsweek. So let's see what this talks about. This is going back to January the 4th. It's got the user's name. So they explained that this is he and his wife purchased the house a few years ago. They brought in 2 roommates to help pay the mortgage, and until recently, the arrangement worked fine. However, his wife recently found out she is pregnant. Despite opting to stay in the house share, their child-free roommate, Caitlin, has been making snide remarks, in quotes, about the future baby. After ignoring the request to stop, the couple asked Caitlin to leave, leading to a blow-up. Caitlin, are you watching this? Are you in the audience somewhere?
What did she say?
I don't know. Let's find out. I don't know. Let's see. So they got upvotes, which is something that happens on Reddit, which helps push things to the top for people to find. Let's see what was actually said. Let's see. What was that, the story? So it says, some counselor and behavior person says it's normal for friends and relatives to disagree with someone's life choices. Although there is nothing wrong with having varied opinions, expressing disagreement in a demeaning or disrespectful manner can make it an issue. So where's the story?
Okay, let me add in something for a second. So
yeah.
So this behavioral counselor was saying, referring the demeaning and disrespectful manner in favor of the parents, meaning that this child-free person is saying nasty things to the parents to be, and so there's defense of the parents. This is that particular sentence. But if it were reverse, would they be defending a person's choice to not have kids with the same respect?
Well, if it's coming from and we haven't found out what they actually said, if it's coming from a demeaning and disrespectful manner, then I would think so. But pop-ups go away.
I mean, go down.
Okay.
Okay. I want to.
Oh, here we go. Explained. All right.
Okay.
He explained that one of the tenants, a 32-year-old woman called Caitlin, is vocally child-free.
Vocally child-free.
Vocally child-free.
You have to
It's
talk
not
about that for a sec.
uh, it's not constant, but when something child related comes up, she will interject without fail. He said 3 months into the pregnancy, the couple told Caitlin and their other roommate Alex about the baby. That way, they'd have time to find another house share if they didn't want to live with the newborn, which is considerate. Both Alex and Caitlin said they wanted to stay since it's a nice house and good location. But shortly after the announcement, Caitlin began making inappropriate comments. Let's find out.
I
Things
don't like
like,
that being associated with vocally child free because I'm vocally child free, but that means something completely different. I'm sorry.
so
I'm like,
things like she should get a discount on rent for putting up with a baby. She's not going to get any sleep with a baby in the house. We should have told them we were trying, etc. Which, I mean, it's not really Caitlin's business, but I mean, and it sounds like they are giving her notice to like, hey, you can always leave.
yeah, it's
And
not fun living with children around.
yeah,
Was I've had that situation, but the approach is a little different.
so he had a word with Caitlin and asked her to stop, but she continued with her remarks becoming more and more frequent and rude in quotation marks. Um, she called us, Caitlin called us selfish for bringing a child into the world, saying our social lives are going to be over, etc. I mean, who cares? It's if they want to have a kid.
Yeah.
Caitlin,
Okay.
come on. All right. You're not looking like the hero here. After a few months, the poster was fed up with Caitlin's attitude. He discussed the issue with his wife, and they decided that Caitlin should go. As she hasn't signed a formal contract, they were legally within their rights to ask Caitlin to leave, but they didn't give her a month to find somewhere new to live. So, yeah, I mean, this is like the kind of things you see like on the daytime court TV shows of being like kicked out with whatever, finding a new place to live. So basically, she's being kicked out with a month's notice due to the parents, her attitude toward the parents and the coming baby. Caitlin is throwing a hissy fit, saying, I'm being unfair, that since she pays rent, she should have a say in the direction of the household, and that we were selfish for having a kid without even telling flatmates.
Oh man. Okay.
Go
You know
ahead.
what? Can we devote the rest of this episode to this article? Because okay, I live alone for a reason. I don't want to hear children screaming, crying above me, below me, beside me. I've had that situation. It's not fun. I draw the line at saying like we have no right to tell someone what they're going to do, even if you are a renter. But that's not the point right now. To me, how okay, this is as we said in the disclaimer, the opinions expressed are those solely those of the speaker. So that speaker is me at the moment. Uh, I when stuff like this gets attention, and I understand, the frustration on both parties, absolutely. But again, as a child-free advocate and someone who's advocating for the community and for the lifestyle choice, when this is showcased as, vocally child-free,
Mhm.
indicates, and this is the problem I have, is it indicates that all vocally child-free people are that way. What from as someone who does advocate, like this is what I actually do, it is it sets the conversation back, in my opinion, because they're going to assume, oh, you're a child free lifestyle advocate, you're going around telling people, one, they shouldn't have kids, their life choices are interfering with that, and that's a whole other conversation. But
Mhm.
being vocally child free is actually quite a broad term because everyone has a different way of doing it.
Mhm.
It's a challenge, and it puts things on a kind of a collision course, because as more people start to become advocates for this choice and presenting in a way of just choice awareness, the overriding thought, the mainstream thought is, oh, Caitlin, that's what it means to be vocally child free. You know how there's Karens? I guess there's Caitlins now. I don't know. But I'm feeling very defensive right now. I guess I'll just leave it at that. But
In which
this,
regard, like for like the like hashtag child free for the lifestyle?
well, for when the homeowner said our flatmate is vocally child free,
Mhm.
and then goes on to explain the
But did they say that, or
situation.
is that what Newsweek took out
No,
of it?
that's what he said in quotes, vocally child free. And
Oh
right
yeah,
there, I
yeah,
had an
you're
issue
right.
because I'm
Yeah,
like, if this is being presented as this is what it means to be vocally child free, you're going to complain about and you're going to try and regulate someone else's life choices. All well, I mean, that's what the pro life movement is doing in certain parts of the world. But like, what does it mean to be vocally child free? This is just adding to an incorrect narrative. Yeah, it happens. Absolutely. I'm not denying that. But I'm feeling very defensive as a child-free lifestyle advocate who has just open dialogue of choice awareness. And this is just presented in the completely opposite direction.
Well, and maybe I missed it, but like, were these people even friends before this, or were these just randos off the
I think it's just
street that they
random.
brought in? So, I mean,
Look,
I
Caitlin,
mean,
to say you can have your opinion whether it's right to bring children into the world or not, but the approach and okay, and I will also speak in defensive, quote unquote, angry or aggressive child free. Look, your home is your sanctuary. I've had that experience where I lived under a family who had 2 kids under the age of 2. It sucked. I ended up traveling and then I moved out because I couldn't handle that. It's not fun. Did I and this was before I started blogging about being child free. This is before I started doing what I do now. But it never, like, I would never go to them and say, I mean, I voiced my concern that there was a lot, like, this just wasn't working, but I could never go, or like, why could I go and say, hey, don't have kids because you're disturbing the peace? I mean, that's just my
well, it's a little
thing.
bit of like
But
boundaries as well. Like you're saying, if it's kind of no different than if you had an apartment or a condo and there was noisy kids
partying
living
or
around you,
yeah,
or even people partying or whatever. If it doesn't fit your personal lifestyle for living there anymore, then just move. Like, I really don't know why Caitlin wants to live there, other than they're saying it's a
yeah.
nice place, it's nice, it's centrally
and
located, or whatever they
and
want to
it's not
do.
always,
But it's like,
I
if
know,
it,
and it's not easy to get up and move. I mean, sometimes you just have to, like, for whatever reason, you're
yeah,
like income limits or whatever. You signed well, she didn't have a lease agreement. It didn't sound like, but there are a lot of factors at play. But there are so many things where I'm like, oh my god,
yeah,
it's again, what it comes down to is what is it representing. And I realize, when you're uncomfortable and you're just frustrated and you voice your opinion, get that, been there. And look, I'm what I'm gonna say is a total stretch, but now I realize, like, are you representing the child-free lifestyle, like, community? Most people don't even know that exists. So I said, this is why I say it's a stretch. Like, how we're presenting yourself as a child-free person. I don't think anyone's going to agree with me on this, but
well, I mean,
you know,
I don't, it's tough. I mean, that's like dipping our toes into gatekeeping.
I
And
know. Well, she's child-free. She doesn't want to have kids, it sounds like.
yeah,
But
but I mean,
vocally child-free, I'm so defensive of advocacy
yeah.
that this article's driving me nuts
Well, I mean,
because it's
and
presented so horribly.
I sound like I'm coming down on Caitlin. Like, I get
Me
Caitlin's
too.
situation. Like, Caitlin's basically, she found a great place to live that she likes. She likes the
Mhm.
roommates. And now something that she, in her opinions that she's expressed, she's against being around, or it sounds like she might be borderline more antinatalist than child free,
I
but
think so.
she uh, is no longer happy with the situation, and she's being very vocal about it. And she now has a short time frame to make a decision to
Yeah.
move. And so I get it. She's in a rock and a hard place. And so I get it. I feel you, Caitlin. That's a tough situation to be in. But in the same sense, I mean, it is their house. You moved in with them with no agreement, no contract, no anything. So, I mean, you're formally couch surfing, more or less. I mean, you're paying rent for a room, but there's nothing legally binding.
No. And I don't think it's within anyone's right in this situation to say you can't have kids because we're all living in this
Yeah,
house together. I mean,
yeah.
to that
And
respect,
this
there
is
should
this is
never
one
be a
side of
ban
the
on
story. Again,
abortion.
did Caitlin truly say that, or is that what he heard and he
Well, that's
and took it
another
that
good
way?
point.
So
That's good
there's two
point.
sides of the coin. Let's just scroll through this real quick.
We're
So
not solving anything. So
no, God, no. So Alex is the other roommate, is on the fence, though he has expressed that I'm being a bit unfair to Caitlin. Wife has said she fully supports me, though she's less annoyed by her behavior than myself, if I'm being honest.
Interesting. I
So,
wonder why.
um, let's see. This is what some people said in the comments. So, renting a room in someone's house does not give you the right to dictate how they choose to live. Someone else says, "I'm child
No,
free."
betrayed orphan. Sorry, I'm.
So
That was the hash. That was the username.
betrayed orphan. This one says, "I'm child free and I hate children, but I would just start finding a new place with the advance notice. She has almost 6 months to move."
Oh
So,
goodness. Okay.
um, let's see why. What is she even aiming for here? As somebody, to snide comment and bully you into a termination, absolutely insane. So, um,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. So
Ah,
that's what
I
Newsweek took off of Reddit this week.
I think out of okay, so this is episode number 3. I think this is the most infuriating article for me because and not because of the parents, because of the actions of the child free person, and I'm yeah,
Well, I
because of
mean, just to play the other side, it's like, she has the right to express her feelings
of
if it's going to
course, of
interrupt
course.
her life, but at the same time, what I think maybe what you're getting around to is that um,
It spawned this
this
article.
this microcosm is gone from a microscope to a spotlight on what
Yes,
people view child free people like in their demeanor towards children
yes,
in these situations, and
yes.
so
And as someone who is trying to encourage more people to be vocally child free, but in a way that's well, again, this is yeah. I want people to feel like they can be vocal about their choice in a way that sparks change, and I don't necessarily think this article in Newsweek is the way to do it. Like it just when you're trying to approach non-child free people about the conversation and you say you're, child free, this is what you do or whatever, or if someone is advocating on your behalf to get you involved in a conversation about choice and they hear the term child free, you see articles like this, they're going to go to something like this, go and think, oh, well, all these child free people are just antinatalists into eugenics, into all these sort of things. They don't believe that there can be an actual conversation between parents and child free. I think that's, for me, that's what gets me the most, is because they just see articles like this
mhm,
and then they see someone being quoted as vocally child free, so they're just going to go, oh, well, then
yeah. And if
there's no reasoning, because this is not a situation where it seems like there's a lot of reasoning involved, and I fear that that's what they would assume all child free people are like that, which
well,
is so not true.
it's the clashing of two opinions as we
Yeah.
talk about in the past, and whenever this usually comes up, being child free is a choice. Well,
Mhm.
being a parent is also a choice. If you want to say, well, respect my opinion to be child free, then you should respect someone's opinion to be a parent if you're just straight up child free by choice situation,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So with this, you basically have someone who doesn't believe that they should be having the child versus the person who's having the child. I mean, yeah, it's oil and water. I mean, it's just prime for a fight. And so, yeah, Caitlin, yeah, I mean, just move out and make yourself happy. Like, there's no reason to stay there just because
Yeah.
it's a cool place to live. Anyway, let's move on and see what the heck I came up with next. This is on chipclick.com. Here we go. This is
Mhm.
perfect for LeNora here about an aggressively child-free person. Her sister
Great.
is aggressively, in quotes, her sister is aggressively child-free with a hyphen, and hates her daughter, so she does not want to invite her sister on the mother-daughter trip to Disney World that she's been working on for years. So,
Ooh.
all right. So basically,
Again,
this is
aggressively
this is
child
these.
free.
You got two sisters. One's aggressively child-free. The other has a daughter. The mom wants to go to Disney World with the daughter, and the child-free person wants to go to. Um, let's see. This is this 33-year-old woman is finally planning a trip to Disney World with her daughter, who is 9 years old. And being that she's a single mom, this is a huge deal. Let's see. After all, she's been saving for years to make her daughter happy, and apparently, her daughter absolutely adores all things Disney, and she wants to give her child at least one big trip to remember fondly from her childhood. Cool, go mom. So for as long as she can remember, she's been scrimping and saving for this. It's been a long time coming. But the look on my daughter's face when I told her we were going to Disney made it all worth it. And we're not being sponsored by Disney or anybody to
We
do these
should be.
articles, by the way. Before she had a daughter, though, she was really close with her sister, who is 28. However, she claims that her sister is, in quotes, aggressively, end quote, and then child free with the hyphen. And I would guess it would just be straight up child free here. And again, it's because people writing articles don't know the difference of putting a hyphen in the word. But anyway, so much so that one day her sister would not even watch her daughter so she could take a simple shower. And then in quotes, I have no obligation to provide free babysitting, her sister
True.
actually told her one day. So ever since then, there has been a strain in their relationship, even on holidays like Christmas or her daughter's birthday. Her sister refuses to participate in the gift giving, claiming that her, quote, spawn is no one else's responsibility.
Oh my
And then it
gosh.
says, her words, not
Okay.
mine. So anyway, okay, I got to click it. This is one of those articles. This is definitely clickbait. When you see, if you're watching some video and it says like next, that's clickbait. Like they're just trying to get more views on their
There's
site.
so many things I want to comment though on the previous screen.
Do you want to? We can do that if you want. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
it's not
pause.
getting any better by the looks of this article. I mean, again, aggressively child free, and oh no, I can't say what we're going to talk about at this year's topic convention yet, but uh by the way, Rebecca, do we have comments? I haven't been looking at the screen. Okay, go back, because can you go back, please? Sorry, I don't mean to sound bossy.
That's all right.
Oh, all right. Okay, first of all, the no obligation to provide free babysitting. Now, I'm looking at the way it's worded. Her sister actually told her on that day. It's true. You're not ever obligated to. Family members are not obligated to look after their siblings, children, or even their own siblings. Like,
it's a nicety if you do,
it is,
and
but
a lot of people do enjoy doing
absolutely,
that.
I'm one of those people. But
Yeah.
if someone's feeling entitled that you are supposed to provide free babysitting or even paid babysitting, and that's the way they said her sister actually told her. Like, I mean, this article is set up to be.
It's very aggressive. Actually, she actually told her that.
Like it's
Can
that's
you
unfair.
believe it?
That exactly. That is unfair. That's unfair to the child. That's unfair to the child free community. Come on, people. But no, that I don't like the way that's set up.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I need to say on that part.
Okay.
But
and the gift giving, like there's a whole thing on the gift giving as well. Like,
this is entitlement. Look, it's nice, but it again, I say this as an active aunt. I never babysit. I am, the nephews visit. They always have. I happily give gifts, but never do I feel entitled, and no one should feel entitled because then it's not genuine. But I just,
if it's expected, it's not a gift.
Right.
In my opinion, if you expect something, it's not a gift. Like
I really dislike how this article is set up, and I don't think it's going to get any better.
We can see how it's spiraling.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next page and give them a click. So back in 2020, something even worse happened too. After her appendix ruptured, oh my goodness, after her appendix ruptured and she was forced to rush to the emergency room, her sister still refused to look after her daughter despite the circumstances. So she actually had to take her daughter with her and worry about both getting healthy and making sure her child was safe at the same time. Anyway, all this has pushed her to distance herself from her sister in recent years. Somehow, though, it appears that the sister caught wind of the vacation and found out that she and her daughter are heading to Disney World soon. Now, this is a major issue since, according to her, her sister is a, quote, self-proclaimed Disney addict, end quote.
Okay.
Apparently, ever since her sister started working a, quote, real job, she has gone on numerous expensive trips to theme parks. She is also pretty sure that her sister is an annual pass holder, despite living in Chicago, where there are no nearby parks, which, I mean, that's a leap in an assumption that She's pretty sure that she has. Okay, whatever.
Despite living.
Yeah. Okay. But regardless of that,
Okay.
and it does say that regardless of that, her sister has not stopped asking to go on her mother-daughter trip for ever since learning about it. In fact, her sister is trying to claim that it will be a fun bonding experience for, quote, all the girls. Honestly, though, she just keeps telling her sister no. You want to pause there or keep going? We'll keep
You
going.
know what? Let's just finish the article.
So here's a quote.
I've
Yeah,
given up. I really dislike how this whole thing is put together, but
I know.
whatever.
Because she hates my daughter, and I don't want her to ruin the trip. She vented. Her mother, however, has a different perspective. In fact, her mom believes that the sister's eagerness to go on the trip is an attempt to extend an olive branch. In other words, repair the relationship and possibly forge one with the daughter too. So her mom has been seriously urging her to take the olive branch and allow the sister to come. Quite frankly, though, she is just not sure about the whole thing.
Solo travel. Guys, go on your own separate trips.
So, I mean, basically, it sounds
What's
like
the next one?
let's find out.
I just I all my outrage from the first page extends to the second one. I just
So, in turn, she has now been left wondering if not inviting her sister on the trip to Disney World would make her a real jerk, or if it's understandable given her and her sister's history. And then it goes into, what do you think? Give me comments. So,
why do you think her sister is so anti-children? Okay, I mean, look, okay, here's the thing. This article is pitting Childfree against parents. Granted, this is a specific family dynamic, fair enough. But it's not helping the conversation. I realize like this is individual accounts. I'm looking at
yes.
this as how it impacts the appearance and how it impacts people's perception of child-free people. That's where the outrage is coming. However the family works it out is however the family works it out. But again, this is this show is challenging me to express my outrage coherently because I don't know if I've made any sense at all this entire live stream. I'm getting text messages, so probably not.
And I don't think I saw anywhere. Did this come from Reddit? I don't think I saw that anywhere.
No,
So,
I
where did the
I
story
just
even come from? Who knows?
okay. I'm gonna ask a question that really has nothing to do with the article, but it is
Okay.
about the article. So, sorry, what? I'm just looking at the comments. Oh, hey Matt, someone's talking to themselves. I was getting a message that someone's talking to themselves. Shout out to Matt in the audience. Okay, I just feel like what was the point? What is the point of this article?
So
and why? I want to talk to the person who wrote this article because there's just so much misunderstanding.
that would be Katrina.
Yeah.
Buckseck.
Okay.
Buckseck?
This is clickbait, right? Really?
I
Because
mean,
they're looking to get
when your heading has the term aggressively child free in it, then yes, especially when it's child hyphen free because it's not even the right child free because they again don't understand the
and the
word
story of
fully.
people happily going to Disneyland, parents and child free together in one family is not going to be an article. So this is basically getting people to be outraged, but again at the expense of the conversation of choice. There it is. It's at the expense of something, and it's actually at the expense of something really important, which again makes me want to bang my head against my computer desk, which I'm not going to, but that's what bothers me. I don't they have to figure it out. I'm not mad at the sister or either sister or the
Either
mom.
one.
It's what is it doing to the
I mean, a little bit of nothing. So,
right.
It's like,
Making my blood pressure go up.
I mean, there's only two outcomes. The sister either joins them or she doesn't. And like, should this person feel bad one way or another? And really, it just depends. Like, if they don't have the sisters don't have a relationship now, and the mother of the daughter, the sister, doesn't want to continue or build a relationship, well, then just go to Disney. Like, you're cool.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Like, if your sister goes that much as you claim as an annual pass holder, well, she'll just go on her own. Like, But the mom could be right. The mom of the mom, the grandmother, let's call her grandmother. The
Yeah.
grandmother could be right too. It might be an olive branch. Maybe the sister that's aggressively child free, does want to spend some time with them. Like, we'll never know. This could be a lost opportunity. So,
So I mean, this article, again, putting my outrage aside, this article does address something that's actually very real in the child-free conversation, is that some child-free people do feel pressured to provide support, whether it's gifts, babysitting, taking family trips. They feel pressured when one sibling has a child, or multiple siblings have children. So that is real for sure, and I think that needs to be addressed. I mean, this article is not designed to go deeper into those conversations, but that does happen. There's also the conversation of entitlement, which it makes us look bad when we bring up the entitlement of parents. But this is an example of, the sister being outraged because she's not getting a free babysitter out of her sister, in her sister, whatever,
but then
right?
there's like the whole appendix thing. What's an appendix that went out? She had to go to the hospital, I guess, and with the bring her
Look,
kid.
I mean,
So, but again, we don't know this story. Like, yeah, the
we
sisters,
don't.
they could be, again, oil and water. Like, who knows what the situation? The
Exactly.
story doesn't delve
Exactly.
into that. It's giving us very surface level things,
It
and
is.
again, it's painting the child free sister as just a terrible, terrible human being, is the way it's being painted. So,
Mhm.
if anyone knows the author, we'd love to hear from you about this and see what the thoughts were behind it.
I need to go drink
And,
some
and what
magnesium. My
and,
blood pressure's like,
and other than to get clicks and comments, it's like, what did you hope this article would
right.
do to help any conversation happen
Exactly.
for
Thank you.
for the child free community, or like even for parents to understand the child free community? Because
Yeah.
to me, it does not. And so anyway, if we can move forward here, let's just do that.
Okay.
So this is just a little bit of fun.
Ooh.
This is on cruise.blog, guide to adult only all inclusive cruises, not necessarily child free. This would definitely be more of child hyphen free, but people look for opportunities to have adult only cruises and
Are
events.
there outraged comments under
I
here by
wouldn't
any
think so.
chance?
I think it just
Okay.
kind of gives us tips of who to take. So if
Okay.
anyone's looking for cruises that are adult only, Viking is one cruise line, and River Cruises that
Why are we
has a,
plugging them? They're not sponsoring
I know.
us.
Well, hopefully this will get picked up by an algorithm. Maybe, who knows? Well, I decided it just to help people find options, because there are cruise companies out there that definitely cater to families and children. So it's nice to see ones that don't. Um, I'm not going to delve into what all is included with it. Saga Cruises, I've never heard of that, but um, this is guest must be 50 plus. Holy cow! So that's definitely
Oh,
adult only.
well, you're closer to that than I am.
However, anyone 40 plus can sail if accompanying a guest who's 50. So maybe
Oh,
that's why I've never heard of Saga, but
it's
so
in the future. All right, cool.
Virgin Voyages, Virgin has come out in the recent years, and they've touted themselves as being definitely adult only. So Virgin is a cruise line. Let's see, Atlas Ocean Voyages. Have not heard of that one either.
No.
Um, Atlas travels the Arctic, Norwegian fjords, British Isles, Northern Europe, Mediterranean. That's probably why I haven't heard of it. I have not done those. So,
You know what's interesting, again, when they say 40 plus, 50 plus,
mm,
this is not for child-free people. This is for people that had
correct,
children, right?
correct. Empty nesters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, this
Because
isn't
we do get those
necessarily.
comments, people going, "Well, I'm child-free, my kids are out of the house." That's not what child-free means, but,
Mhm.
I think it's interesting. I'm curious. I'm really curious in the future, again, and this is why it's so important, and I will be a broken record on this for the rest of my life, why people need to speak out about their choice, or why it's beneficial for people to why it's beneficial for people to speak out about their child-free choice, is because industries like the cruise industry can offer cruise lines or just specific trips for people of any age, let's say 18 plus, and it actually being child free. Again, there's a whole market out there, but when they don't know that that's an actual market, and by that meaning people that have chosen not to have kids at all, ever,
Yeah.
instead of making it 40 plus, 50 plus. Although, as a 40-year-old, do I want to party with 20? 2-year-olds. Well, sometimes, but like, I mean, it depends on your style. Because I mean, I don't consider myself an ageist. It doesn't matter. Like I, friends of all ages, but um, I don't know where I was going with this. Anyway,
the adult only theme type of thing. Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of it is empty nesters, retirees, their kids, their grandparents, or even great grandparents. Who knows? But I mean, your odds are a little bit better of meeting someone else who might be actually child free on those cruises, just because. So let's continue real quick. So the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection, why not?
Sure.
Go with Ritz.
What's the age restriction on that one?
Let's see. Each yacht has 149 suites, so they're not very big as far as ships go, but accommodate 300 guests. So that
wait. But it says the cruise line welcomes kids, so no, that doesn't count.
Where does it say that at?
Down further. See, tip. You can read ahead and not read it out, but you can read.
Well, I'm actively reading it. I can't read ahead.
I know.
That's what I need you for. All right. So, hold on. My eyes just aren't finding it. Oh, there it is. So the cruise line welcomes kids and provides them. So this shouldn't be on here.
No.
Cruise.blog fail. Like, yeah, Ritz-Carlton's awesome, but doesn't belong in this adults only thing. Seabourn. Let's see. I've heard of Seabourn.
I don't believe it. See, kids are welcome on board. You know what? Can we move on to the next one?
That should be, yeah. All right.
This is getting disappointing.
Anyway, next. So this is on honey.9.com.
Oh no, this is an actual child-free article.
Have you seen this one?
No, I just read the title.
Oh, all right. Let's see. It says
we need to talk after this live stream is over.
These are literally blind reads. So, so it's the heading is you're not maternal, in quotes, and other misconceptions about being child-free by choice. I wish they wouldn't have the hyphen in child-free, but that's okay. So Shelly, let's see what you came up with here as an article writer. She says, I am 49 years old and child-free by choice, and I've been open about it for the past 10 years or more. She's written stories about it, spoken at conferences about it, and I've been on the telly about it. But there's nothing more transparent about when it comes to why I say no to procreation. But what isn't so clear is what child-free life entails, which leads to the ridiculous misconceptions I often hear thrown around about people like me. Is that her? I guess that's her. And if you can watch it on the video. So let's get into misconceptions. Choosing not to have children is selfish. I think every child-free person wants to, shout that from the rooftops. I mean,
what that is not selfish.
That it's not selfish. Yeah, it's not selfish. So yeah, choosing not to have children is selfish. So we want to say that it's not selfish. I always hate hearing that one way or another, because again, it's one of those things where it pits child-free against parents. It's like, it's like, well, then they'll say, well, parents are selfish for having kids because of whatever, the polar bears or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Like whatever reason that you're child-free, you're going to throw that on a parent for being selfish at the same time. So it's like, it's your life. Like if it makes you happy, just do it. Like can we all just drop the selfish moniker and get rid of it? Let's go to Mrs.
Or even, I mean, there are people, and I'm going to shout out my Child for Girls podcast co-host, Kristen, who always says they're using selfish incorrectly, which is also true. Anyway, continue.
Misconception number 2, child-free time is not as valuable as family time.
Big one.
So do you want to read these, or we want to kind of just react to what the misconception is? I think
let's react, because
I
read ahead further than you do. So
you do. Well, this could be taken a number of ways. Child-free time is not as valuable as family time. So that can get into like the workplace issue.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got a child-free person and a work person wanting time off together, you put it on a scale, which one is the manager going to give time to? And I don't think I even found an article like that this week. Usually there's one a week, if not a few. So yeah, it's unfair to say if anyone's time is more important than anyone else's time. I mean,
and our quite honestly, like the default thought is that anyone that has kids, that automatically gets bumped in priority. Like that's put as priority. And I have to say, like, my first default thought is the parent's going to get it. I'm not agreeing.
But is that a misconception? That. Should that be a misconception? Like
totally, that it's not valuable because people don't stop and think of what it's implying. by automatically giving a parent or let me back up from that. Okay, child-free time is not as valuable as family time. Incorrect. Your time is your time. But our automatic setting is, of course, family time because it's all about family. It's just because we've been bombarded with that message forever, right? But no one's stopping to think of how it impacts people that don't have kids by choice or by circumstance.
Mhm. Well,
You
and
know,
it also it discounts how large a family could be or how small a family could be. Let's say that
Mhm.
I only have a great uncle that's still alive and I want to spend Christmas with them, but I don't have
Right.
kids. So is that time less important than someone who, is a single parent or has, a marriage and 3 kids or whatever? Like, who gets to say what time is important for family time? And
Right.
someone who doesn't have family at all and they've just got a close group of friends, or they just want to not work that day. Like, who's to say that's not, like, their time is not important?
You know what bothers me? I think these episodes are a way for me to vent. That's not what bothers me, but I'm just saying out loud. Um, it's those phrases of, well, it's all about the kids anyway, speaking about Christmas or
Mm,
anything fun. It's like it's all for the kids. It's all for the kids. So again, it's one of those things that no one questions or no one says anything because we're told and taught from young age like this is all for the children. So if there are children involved, that time automatically is perceived as more valuable. And because no one says anything to counter that, it continues. That's one of the things that bother me. I do I sound like a complainer on this show? It's
no,
like,
we're gonna change it to LeNora rages. So,
oh no. You don't want to call it rages. Rage Lenore is very different from what's
okay.
happening here.
And Rebecca in the background, if we have any comments coming up, feel free to throw them
Yeah.
on the screen. So
Shout
we're
out
just
to me and I who's the other sorry, there's another. I mean, this is not going to translate well to podcasts, but daydreaming Sora. Did I get that right? I apologize if I didn't. Anyway, all right.
all right. So
What
we've
else
got
can I be outraged about?
misconception number 3: being child free by choice means you're not maternal. And
That's
it's a picture of her holding this cute little dog with a little hat on or something, a scarf. I don't know.
why another outrage coming. Sorry, pet-free person here. It doesn't do anything for me to see pets. Again, not knocking it. It just doesn't represent all child for people.
Well, you've
This
got
is
you've
this
got
is
you've got nephews that come and they spend time with you.
oh
So
yeah,
it would be a misconception for someone to say, well, since you're child free, you have no maternal instinct.
but that doesn't make me
You
that would I
well,
label
no.
that as maternal though?
Well, I mean, it depends how you want to label maternal. Like caring for the well being of someone that's in your care, like that.
Yeah, but why should that be considered maternal? Because I am not a caregiver, but I care for people, and I just
Well,
feel like this is not a complete misconception because some people say identify. Pardon me for phrasing it this way. Some people identify as not being maternal, and I fully believe that as someone that, like, I'm
yeah.
female. I'm a female, but there's so many things about what's considered to be feminine or synonymous with womanhood that I don't necessarily identify with.
Mm,
So the whole maternal thing, I don't care to ever be considered maternal, but that does not mean I don't care, and that does
yeah.
not mean that don't that I can't be a support to other people. I have fight against the term maternal because I'm like, don't put me in that category.
Mm,
I don't identify with that term. So
yeah.
I but they're making maternal the word to represent being a caring person or
Mm,
or a caring woman, I guess. I take issue with that because there are people that because well, okay, so it's not necessary. It's not a misconception. It's true and it's untrue at the same time. What is that word? Is there a word for that? Um.
well, I
Oh,
think
V has a comment that we could read out, but
well, okay. So V says, I'm definitely not maternal towards children. I don't mind a cat or hell, even a dog. I'm more sympathetic towards my nieces, nephews, and yes, care for them, but still not maternal. So yeah, this misconception, I think it's like, I don't want to say flip a coin 50-50 because that's not necessarily true either, but it could
mhm.
go one way or another depending on the individual and the way that they want to live their life. So yeah, some people would say, yeah, they might say, I'm totally not maternal, just like Vetus did, and you've said as well. And some people might say no. It's like they could pick up a baby and burp it and swaddle it and change its diaper and like boom, boom, boom. They could just knock it out and they might love
but
doing
that
it.
does
But
look,
they
I
don't
can
want a kid. Like that's the thing. Like they don't have to want a child
right.
to have a maternal instinct to
But look,
care.
I've done all the things that you just said. That
Yeah.
still does. I don't think that makes me maternal. That makes me a
No,
good
no,
aunt. It's
it,
just
it, it doesn't. But there might be someone who out there that does have a maternal instinct, but they literally just don't want to have a kid of their
right,
own, like for
right.
whatever reason. So anyway, we've got another comment.
I think
So
this goes back to the previous article about the sisters feeling
okay.
entitled to babysitting.
Okay, so it says again, respect. You can ask if someone is okay with babysitting, but if you make the decision to have a child, then respect someone's decision to not want to babysit what isn't theirs. So yeah, that goes back to a few
Good point.
articles. Thanks for throwing that out there. So let's go to misconception if there are more. So we got 4. A
Oh
child
no,
free
I
by
can't handle
choice.
this anymore, Cody.
A child free by choice friend doesn't care about your parents' parenting stories. I, I mean, again, it could go either way. I guess like
Wait, okay,
I don't know. I don't,
parenting stories, or stories about your kid. Like, there's a few different ways to interpret that. What that means?
or like the birthing process, like who knows
Please no.
what that might be. Well, so is that truly a misconception? Because so to me, it's one of those ones where it depends on the person. It's about the individual. It's not necessarily by using the term, in my opinion, misconception, like the whole selfish thing. Like it's
Right.
a misconception to say that we're selfish because we don't
Yeah.
have kids. I would say that's fair.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a misconception to say that a child-free person doesn't care about hearing your parenting stories, because there are child-free people that truly don't want to hear about someone's parenting stories. So it's not really a misconception.
That's true.
I don't know. I guess.
Okay. I just got this thought that some child-free people, or a lot of child-free people, like to hear about parenting stories that either solidify their decision not to have kids. Like if there's like, my kid did this, and this, and I just can't handle it. Exactly. There's that. And then there's the mushy gushy stuff that make some people roll their eyes and go, because they go, oh, it's all worth it. This is what my kid did, blah, blah, blah. Or if it's coming where that's if it's being presented as this is their entire identity, people get tired. Like, to be honest, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and they're not talking about anything to do with themselves, it's all about their kid, I don't care. After a very short period of time, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, and unfortunately I've had that even with friends where I'm like, okay, but what are you doing? What do you think? It's not all about your kid. So there's that aspect. There's and this is not all of them, by the way, but there's this is what happened, and you're like, yeah, okay, thank goodness that I dodged that bullet. I'm not having children. And then, so it depends, right?
Yeah. Well, and again, the other side, it's individual basis. There are child-free people that they their bestie has a kid and their bro, whatever, and they love like hanging out with their buddy and their kid, or their girlfriend and the kid, whatever, and they love hearing the stories. Like they love, but what did little Susie do today? Like they want to know. And or if there's a kid had a bad night and they want to vent to the child-free person about it, that's all an individual like friendship. Like going back to like the 2 sisters where they're totally like nothing to do with each other. Like, yeah, she's clearly not going to want to hear your parenting stories, but there's another sister out there that might. So I don't know. So again, we'll see what misconception 5 is. Having no children means you don't like Christmas. I guess you could say probably a lot of holidays, but they've chosen Christmas.
My Christmas tree is still up. It was still up from 2021. I don't think it's coming down this year. And it's like a full-size Christmas tree. It's 6 feet tall.
What I don't like about Christmas is like every year you're pushed on TV and advertisements to spend, buy gifts, whatever. And then like literally on the day after Christmas, the news stories are running, credit card debt is higher than ever. Well, you literally just told everyone to go spend money. Like,
look, the day after, I don't know about the US, but in Canada we have Boxing Day. So the day after Christmas is Boxing Day, and that's when everyone goes and buys stuff after Christmas. That's ridiculous. I guess that's our version of Black Friday. I don't know. You guys don't celebrate Boxing Day in the US.
We don't. No.
Okay.
No,
So
to
we
us,
do up here,
I would think boxing is you take the stuff back that you don't want. You put it back in the box. You take
that
it to the
does
store.
happen. But Boxing Day is like, okay, everyone's going to go to the mall at 6 a.m. the day after Christmas and get stuff. Like that's
Yeah, it's not a thing here in
Okay.
America. Not that I know, but again, I don't really do the Christmas thing just from the like the consumerism aspect. Like I
So
just really don't like the consumerism that
okay, so you
is
don't like
piled
Chris.
into it.
You don't like Christmas. I celebrate the decorations and the glitter, but that goes for anything in life. I just celebrate the glitter. Um,
But I think this article is trying to
but
say it's because there's no childhood whimsy in it that you don't like Christmas for like watching the glimmer in their eyes as they open up the new bike or whatever it is, which
I
again is there's aunts and uncles that are child free that love giving gifts to their nieces and nephews and they love watching them open it and they love Christmas. So yeah,
look.
that's definitely a misconception. But then you got
I
someone like me, I don't like Christmas just
Yeah.
kind of in general. So not
I love it because I never got to celebrate it as a kid. So me as a 40-year-old woman is like, oh my god, it's Christmas, and that doesn't necessarily mean oh no, I did open presents. I opened my Advent calendar because I was traveling in December, so I opened like the entire Advent calendar on one day.
if I
That was mine.
if I had a kid for Christmas, it would be like, gee, Dad, thanks for the savings bond. Like,
If you had a wait,
if
if
I
you had a kid for Christmas,
if I had a kid and I was buying it a gift, it would be something like
you would be
useful.
that practical, yeah.
So,
I mean, I like practical gifts. Christmas, I want to be like, I want to be, even if it's just for myself, I want to be mesmerized because I never had that experience as a child. So, uh, that's definitely a misconception. I like
all right,
Christmas, but I guess not in my own way, like everything else.
all right. Let's see. Misconception
Okay.
number 6: child free by choice. People don't like children. Well, I mean, that could
Oh,
be number
well,
one. And so it's like,
some
uh,
people do, some people look, parents
yeah,
don't like kids. Come on.
yeah, we hear
Whatever.
often out in the wild where a parent will be like, "Well, I just like my kid. Like my kid's like
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of that.
top of the heap." And it's cool. You should think your kid's the coolest, but that's basically saying that you don't think other kids are that great either. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but
But as long as you have a kid, it doesn't matter what you say.
it is a misconception that child free by choice people don't like children because it could go 50-50. There are child free by choice people
Right.
who love being around kids. Like, yeah, no problem. I mean, it might be their job. They could be a teacher or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Misconception number 7: by having no children, you'll miss out on unique human bonds.
Incorrect.
That's a yeah,
So
that's a vast statement.
that
So,
I've never heard that.
let's see. It's a
That's
pretty short. It's a few cents. So, when you're child free by choice, your nieces, nephews, even your friends' kids confide in you even more because you're not a parental figure. You develop a different level of trust and a
right.
different level of love at levels I think reserved by the kids when they're looking for a genuine ally. I've always wanted to be that person to my friends' kids and my own nephews. They're some of my most cherished relationships in the world. So it's talking about like you're the cool aunt, like kind of thing. So yeah, it's like
But
you can have that bond without having the child.
this is also kind of missing a point that you can bond with adults in unique ways. I'm not just talking about sex. Like like you can bond with people. There's something missing with this. Because it's like by having no children, it takes maybe because in a way I live in a fantasy world somehow, or maybe that's just being Canadian. I'm not sure, but I find there's a lot of magic in adulthood. And I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but I feel more magical as an adult. And I don't even take drugs or drink really. And when I do, it's kind of nuts. But like that's not what's in my head at this point. But I find adulthood more magical than childhood. And there will be people that agree with me and people that disagree with me on this. But I don't like how the narrative uh doesn't acknowledge that magic can happen as in adulthood. It's
Mm,
always about like the kid experiencing magic. Kids should go to Disneyland. Kids should do a lot of different things. And I realize this comes from the lens of someone that was denied a lot of things as a child. So adulthood gave me that freedom to really experience life how I want to. But the connections you have in adulthood or can have or are possible in adulthood, like that gets discounted and discredited, and it drives me nuts
mm.
because it's like, well, children need help, you need help, and babies are hope. I'm like, well, adults can be hopeful. Like it's you get to, I don't know what age, 12, whatever, it gets cut off and all of a sudden you don't matter anymore because you're no longer a cute little baby. That bugs me because I think there's a lot of magic in adult connections in of any age, right? So
Mhm. Well,
her answer is in response, like is very child centric. the unique human bonds. I mean, it's really cool meeting someone who's 40 or 50 years older than you and learning from their life experience and seeing how they're living now. I mean, I don't know. I think like there's so many unique human bonds that have nothing to do with little kids. It can, involve, again, as an aunt, I love getting to know my nephews and seeing them grow up, but that's not the only unique bond I have is with them. I have that with other people. So man, I'm so defensive tonight.
Well,
I'm passionate. Jeez.
So I mean, yeah, like for me, when I was in my 20s and I moved to the new city, like one of my closest friends was a 90-year-old man, like just the coolest guy. Kind of took me under his wing, kind of a mentor. Introduced me to like different business organizations and things of that nature. But we had a really cool bond. Like it was a sitcom waiting to happen. It's like but.
I can totally see that.
I can kind of see what this person's saying about the misconception of saying that, it is a misconception because I mean, how do you define a human bond? Like
right, exactly.
Or are they saying that the bond with a child is the most important bond you can have? Is that maybe
I kind of feel like that's the misconception,
so
because that's just a common bingo,
Yeah. All right. I don't know how many misconceptions there are, but let's keep going because we've hit the hour mark here.
We have.
So number 8, you'll feel like something's missing if you don't have children. That could go along with the human bond when it was just, you could kind of mush those two together. But
sometimes you want to miss those things. You know what we've been programmed to think, to react to this? You feel like something's missing, assuming it's making an assumption that something missing is a good thing.
You're told something's missing. It's like, oh, something's going to miss from your life.
Like but what does that mean? We just assume they're talking about something good. They try and spin it that way, but there are things that we're missing. I mean, look, it's going to be a different experience, absolutely, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get really dark, like grief and certain things, like losing a child. I mean, I'm going to be missing out on that. Absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Not the only driving force behind my decision, but that's.
But as far as the article goes, the misconception is that you'll feel like you're missing out if you don't have children. I think we would agree. It's like we don't feel like you're going to be missing out if you don't have kids. Are you missing out on very, very specific experiences? Yes. But is your life going to be like, oh my gosh, I'll never know what it's like to, I don't know, change a baby in an airplane. Whatever. I don't know. I mean.
You know what? Okay. Story time. In October, I flew to Toronto for an event. Came on the flight back. I was sitting behind a family I had 2 kids. One was a baby and the other one was like a toddler. Watching that whole experience, like it's a 4-hour flight from Eastern Canada to Western Canada where I live on the way home. And I had my earbuds on, so I didn't hear the dialogue, but watching and then just the chaos of getting off the plane and you could tell the baby needed changing. The mom took off to deal with that. Then the kid was like, I got a piece. So, I mean, we're all trying to like disembark. It was just, I was watching the parents and I mean, everyone was really cool. Like we all just like let it happen. But I'm like, nope, I don't need that experience.
Chaos.
Totally.
So, let's see. That's the end of that article. So, I've got more stories, but we didn't take a tally.
We didn't tally up how many are actually misconceptions and what aren't. Was anybody in the audience paying attention, that close attention? What's our total?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Wait. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments. I thought I saw a diaper. Oh no, I did see a diaper comment. Okay, no, that it was similar to what we had said. All right.
So anyway, that is.
I need to go calm down and drink a glass of cold water, man.
Good luck going to sleep.
Oh no, I got a long way before.
I guess moving forward, like if you're about to be on a very like long drive at night and you need to stay awake, this is definitely like the podcast or the video to queue up because you'll get enraged one way or another. Maybe, who knows?
Drinking. I'm being told to calm down in the comments. Okay.
But thank you everyone for joining us, especially in the comments live. Once this is archived and podcast, feel free to throw extra thoughts and comments in there as well. And again, as always, you can send us articles and ideas to childfreemedia@gmail.com.
And we have to shout out our director, Rebecca, who's joining us behind the scenes. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you for everything, as always. Don't forget, you can find Childfree Media all over social media. We are on Twitter at Childfree Media, Facebook, Instagram. Yes, we are on TikTok and YouTube if you're probably watching this. And we are also we are on LinkedIn, a page on LinkedIn, but I'm not too worried about that. But we exist there, and our website childfreemedia.com. I have to remember everything. Oh, our newsletter has launched.
It was awesome. The first one was great.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you forgot everything we said tonight, go to childfreemedia.com and sign up for the newsletter, because it's not just Childfree Media content, but it's our entire network of content creators. So every week you will get the newsletter to your inbox, and that includes all of the latest podcast episodes from all current active child-free podcasts within the Childfree Media Network and beyond. So this is like an all-inclusive newsletter. It also includes any live events that are happening, any virtual events that are happening in the child-free space. So it's everything. And if you are a child-free content creator who wants to promote, because this is all free, so you can also send us childfreemedia@gmail.com. You can send us your event for your community, podcast, new idea, whatever. Contact us. We'll promote it for you for free. So
yeah, no worries. That's why we're here. So,
exactly.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you next time and getting LeNora mad again.
Bye.
See ya.